What's up, legends? Check out today's fun. We've got a dent on this Hyundai EV. Now, this is a matte paint job. It's not your standard gloss. Somebody has, though, if you look at the front door, attempted to polish this up at some point.
Oh, no.
Now, big no-no, you cannot polish matte or satin clear coat. It is as it comes off the gun, and that is it. There's nothing else you can do to it. So, we're going to show you how to do this and demystify and debunk some of the myths around matte finishes. Let's go. So, if you are doing a full repaint on your car with matte lacquer, you won't have to necessarily worry about doing a test panel like I am now, because the finish is going to be even across the whole car. However, when you've got a car like we have at the moment that's in for a repair, and you're going to have pre-existing adjacent panels to the one that you're lacquering, you're going to want to make sure that your finish is about right. Now, it's not uncommon for a day or so for the matte lacquer to look a little bit more vibrant and glossy, but it will matte off eventually. But what I'm looking for is to make sure I can get the finish as close as possible on a test panel, so that I'm happy to spray all 4 doors on this car and make sure that the finish is where I want it. So I've taken a little test panel here, which is nothing special, just an offcut from when I fabricated the sill. I've primed it up, and I'm just putting a little black base coat down on it now with some matte black, just ready to put some base coat over. And then what I'm going to do is use the matte lacquer to lacquer up this test panel, and then we're going to get a true idea of exactly how our finish is going to look, and we can offer that up against the car before we go too far on the car. So I'll base coat this now and lacquer it, and we'll see where we are. So I've had this under the infrared lamp. We've got it up to 60 degrees, which is the ideal drying temperature of the clear coat. And we can see we're nice and matte. The finish on it actually matches the car bang on as well. So I know now, because of doing this test panel, I could have saved myself a massive costly mistake. I know when I paint this car, I'm going to get the right finish first time, and we're not going to have any problems. So next thing, let's get the car painted. Right, so you join us now. The car is all masked up, ready for its base coat over the repair. You obviously know we've got 2 doors the other side as well, just to re-lacquer because they were polished. This one was dented. So we're going to get the base coat over this, but a few tips before we do that. I've blown off the masking, and I've masked it nice and tight as well, because any masking film flapping about is the first place dust will come from. So next thing to do then is give it a nice solvent wipe down, so we make sure those last layers of dirt, debris, anything, wax, grease, is all gone. So we know that we're starting with a nice clean panel.
Dirt, debris, the cheddar, the Swiss.
Oh, for God's sake. Yeah, cheese-related joke, folks. Anyway, following that, the tack cloth is going to be your best friend on this one, because, as you will have seen from the title, we're doing this outside of the booth to make sure that the video fits with what we're saying, is that you can do this outside of a booth, because you guys at home that want those killer matte paint jobs, you can still do them. You've just got to make a few little changes in the workshop area to make sure you get the area prepared and ready to go. So just to clean down on this rear door then, making sure any of that primer swarf is all gone, and we're nice and clean, repaired nice and flat. Everything is where it needs to be, ready to receive a base coat. So I'm going to go and mask up, and we'll get some colour down on it. So you don't have to do anything different with your base coat as well, just for those guys out there that are unsure. You put it on the same way, you blend it the same way, just as if you were doing a normal gloss finish, because effectively you are, it's just the lacquer that has a chemical reaction that changes, but I'll explain more about that later. So yeah, base coat stage, everything the same. Another great tip then, folks, before you hit your lacquer stage, is to take a heat gun and move it gently over your masking, your sheeting, because it will tighten everything up. If you look at this rear arch where I've done it already, it's tightened it up like a drum skin, so we know that's not going to flap about and throw any dust off. So I'm just going to show you on here. you can see it just pulls it in against the car nicely, and I can take that bottom apron up then and we're good to go. So this is the matte lacquer we're using for this job. It is the Q Refinish 7170. Now, few tips when you get your matte lacquer. We've left it on top of the compressor to warm for a little while. You want to make sure you give it a real good mix and a shake for 2 or 3 minutes before you start mixing this. The reason is, matte lacquer has a matting agent in it which causes the effect. Now, if that isn't evenly spread and mixed all the way through the product, there is a possibility you can get shiny patches, you can get uncured patches, and problems you just don't want. So you need to make sure it's mixed thoroughly before you actually do the mixing. Now, next thing is, when you open this up, if you've not done this before, you're probably going to be sort of alarmed at the appearance of it, because it is very, very, very milky. I don't know if you can see very well in the can, but it is like milk almost, and that is completely normal. So if your matte lacquer looks like that, it's not just gone off, it is exactly what it's supposed to be because of the matting agent in it, and it will look milky in the cup and in the gun. But when it goes on, it will look like gloss because it's sprayed at so many microns. So we're going to get mixing this up now, 2 to 1 on this one, and I'm not using any thinners because the TDS says no thinners, and I don't like to mess with matte so you get the right finish. Let's go. So there you go, talking about the milky appearance, that's exactly what, no, don't drink it, that's exactly what it looks like there. So you're not going to see through it. Just remember that matte clear coat relies on that reaction to create a translucent appearance, so if it's translucent in the cup, that's exactly what you want. Now, you may know I've been into wardrobe and makeup and got this dashing new outfit on. So, main reason for this is invest in a good set of painting overalls. If you're doing any jobs like this, or any jobs you want really clean, you'll probably spend like 20 to 40 pounds, 20 to 40 dollars, something like that. But get one that's machine washable. They will absolutely change your job. If getting all the environment correct, they will do brilliantly for you. So, I've got my overalls on. We're going to wet the workshop floor now. Right, so wetting the floor, if you want to get a clean job, really important step. This morning I took the cars out, blew all the floor out with the airline, made sure all the dust was out and gave it time to settle, and then we swept up afterwards as well. But wetting the floor now and having a nice layer of water on there is going to be your best friend with something like this, because it's not going to allow any of that dust that's on the floor to flick up into the paintwork. Super important then, folks, this is a new tack rag now, because I'm at this stage. I'm going to do all the painted areas first, all the panels, and then I'm going to follow around and do all the surrounding masking areas, so we make sure that wherever that spray gun's going to hit, we're not going to get any dust come up off there. Right, first coat then, folks, we're going on with the light one, just like a closed coat, and then the second one's going to be our full finish thickness. So let's go. Okay, that's had 10 minutes to flash off. You can see we're matting off nicely. Time for the second and final coat then. Let's go. So there we are then, legends. That is done. As we can see, we're nicely matted off. All those steps and tips we took to make sure that the job came out clean. I don't know how good you're going to see it on camera, but let's get close in on that door, Dan. And we can see that other than a loose bit of dust that's landed on it since it's been outside, this is crystal clear. So this is exactly what you want from a matte paint job. Now, if you are doing a matte paint job, it's important when you hit this stage, let it dry for a few days. So don't touch it until it's been sort of 3-4 days, because you have the risk of when you touch it, you can actually put shiny spots on it and kind of level off the surface. So give it plenty of time to flash out, dry and matte off properly before you do anything to it. And remember, you cannot flatten polish matte paint, otherwise it's going to be in doing what we were doing to this one. Let's go around and have a quick look at the other side where the dent was. So there we go, folks, dent gone and matted off nicely across both doors. So we're going to call this one done, and that is us signing off from another really busy week. If you enjoyed any of this, please subscribe to our channel. It means a massive amount to us, and we are trying to step up our content game for you and bring you some fantastic videos. As usual, I'll link everything we use in the video in the description for you as well.
Click that bell as well so you get told when we upload another one.
Yes, please, and keep watching because we've got some great projects coming up. But as for now, signing off, legends. We'll see you later.
Bye.